Sundays, I had to just put one foot in front the other. Sundays, it was too much, I had to go take cover. I made it through the rain, lightning, and thunder. I made it through the rain, lightning, and thunder. I made it through.
All right, so we're back. Another episode of the Blaze Your Own Trail podcast.
Welcome back.
I'm Raul. I'm Cody,
We got guest Bears Best Photo today.
aka Elijah Ross.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody?
Thanks for coming
hey guys.
in, man.
Thanks for having me. This is freaking
Yeah,
awesome.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for
Yeah.
showing up.
Appreciate the time. We appreciate everybody who fucking takes time to come in and just share personal experience that, you know, we have like certain questions and a dilemma that we try to apply to ourselves that we want to help ourselves and, you know, hopefully help other people. But,
Yeah.
you know, you do stuff on the side that is inspiring in a way. You do art. It's literally art, you know.
Yes, sir.
Like a photographer. But yeah, appreciate you coming because, you know, there's a lot of people who want to do photography out there. And you got a fucking gnarly skill, dude.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
I was looking through your stuff and it's just like, there's this stuff that makes, you know, certain photographers like stand out.
Yeah.
You know, and just certain people doing just different stuff, whatever you're doing, you know, you got to do stuff a different way to make your shit stand out.
Right.
And that's dope.
Well,
But-
thanks. That means a lot.
Yeah. And fucking Cody brought you in. You know, I don't know a whole lot about you, but, you know, it's pretty dope about what I know so far. But welcome in.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well,
Thanks
and
again.
So what's gotten you into like photography and what you're doing now? Like, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So a little bit about me, I guess, to rewind. I grew up as a fighter. I grew up wrestling and transitioned into MMA. I did professional cage fighting.
When did you start wrestling?
I started wrestling at 4 years old, all throughout high school. Then transitioned into learning, you know, how to punch and tap people out when I was about 13 or 14. You know, was a big fan on TV ever since I can remember. It's like 10 years old, like actually, you know, watching it. And so that was a big part of my life. I wanted to be in the UFC, dedicated every waking second to fighting, wake up, train, watch what I eat. I didn't eat Christmas or Thanksgiving dinners for probably a decade just because you have to watch your weight all year round, especially wrestling season, you know.
Yeah.
And then fast forward to just a couple of years ago, a bunch of new studies from the NFL came out of like brain damage and stuff like that, and just how severe it is in the long run, and just like the buildup of little by little over time creates tremendous brain damage, and that kind of opened my eyes, and I was like, I mean, it's fun, it's great, the endorphin rush is amazing of winning, and like the fame that comes with success is addicting, and I really want that, but you know, I think I should step back and reconsider and try to find a new path, and fell into photography kind of on accident. My girlfriend is a Instagram athlete / influencer, you know, whatever you call them these days. So I did all of her stuff and upgraded to a moderate camera, then kind of maxed that out and invested all my life savings into new camera equipment, kind of to help her follow her dreams. And I was like, whoa, since I'm here, let me see what I can actually do with this. And then got a couple clients here, did a couple gigs here. And now it's like a real thing out of nowhere. It kind of, I think it's really cool because it's kind of manifested itself out of nowhere. I've never thought I'd have a camera and spend all my money on trying to pursue this dream, but here it is and here we are. And it's led to awesome opportunities like this and meeting great new people. And I think it's really fortunate. I'm pretty blessed that this kind of fell onto me how it did. It's turning out pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So you did it you started trying to help your girlfriend.
Did you
Yeah.
have any like photography experience before that?
Nothing.
No,
We just used, she's always had like a nicer phone than me. So I've used her iPhone and we just started on her iPhone. And then we went to Best Buy and this dude helping us out. I was like, yo, I don't know anything about photography or cameras, but give me something better than this iPhone. He was like, okay, have this. And then watched a couple YouTube videos, how that camera works, you know, and then started just watching more YouTube videos and understanding light and, you know, the exposure triangle, little stuff like that, white balance, and then kind of maxed out the potential of this little digital camera. And then I really started doing some homework. I took about 2 weeks off of work just to stay in bed and watch YouTube videos. And I got Skillshare and did like every course on photography and masterclass, like understanding lighting and stuff like that.
That's what's up.
And then, you know, tried to find out of the 50 cameras in my budget what would be best for me.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, here we go. Like, got a new MacBook, got the camera, got all the batteries, the accessories, you know, everything. Like I said, my whole life savings dumped into it. And I was like,
what made you believe that, like, just dumping your life savings is going to be, like,
well,
potentially
Allie,
pay off?
My
Like,
girl's a big influence for me too, because she started doing this online workout stuff at the start of COVID. She's a personal trainer at Planet Fitness. She had to quit her job. She was like, yeah, let me try this. And then she just tried, you know, posting every single day, different stuff, kind of doing what other people that were successful do. And, you know, I'm on the other side of that camera for every one of those videos. And I was like, well, I want to give you, like, you're putting in the work. Like, I don't want to be holding you back. Let me step up my game too.
Yeah.
So I'm on the other side, stepping up my game with her as she's growing, getting jacked, you know, getting all these followers. And then all of a sudden she's at like 100,000 followers. I'm like, well, you need let's go. If we're going to do this, let's jump in and go. So watching her grow is really inspiring. And I'm like, well, I'm going to do all I can to see you chase your dreams. Because like, that makes me happy seeing her success, because ultimately, like, it's us together. So it's like, if she's doing well, then we're doing well. And that's amazing. And so I'm like, I'm going to do everything I can to blow you up. And like I said, in the meantime, let me see who else wants to get these pictures taken and videos. So she was like 2 years of solid practice, you know, and then getting other gym clients and stuff like that. I shot a Kevin Gates concert recently. That was pretty cool. You know, professional baseball games, all the MMA fights around town. But yeah, all just started from shooting with Allie on an iPhone, just kind of snowballed into, we're both kind of doing big careers of stuff we enjoy, which growing up, I never thought was actually possible. Yeah. You hear that, like, if you're doing something you love, you don't work a day in your life. I was like, yeah, but you have to work still. Like, I really never saw that being actually a thing until like this past year. And it's a whole new type of like addicting to, like,
it's a
like,
passion.
if I work hard, we can get there.
Know it's there, and so you're enjoying what you're doing, all the whole process, whether like it's up or down. Like, you're enjoying it because like it's what you're doing. Yeah, you know.
One thing I want to touch on, I think is super cool and important for like a lot of people out there, is that you had no experience in it, but you took it upon yourself to go and do homework. Yeah, and start like researching the camera and figure out the specs and pretty much everything you need to do to be good with the camera and have skill with it. So I just think that's really cool because, like, as a musician, I've done similar things. Like, I've watched a ton of YouTube videos on like mixing and watched other people's performances and stuff like that, just trying to get my homework done right. And
I think that is like, where did that discipline come from to like take that upon yourself and do it? Because you said something earlier where you said when you were a little kid, you didn't eat what you didn't eat. What did you say you didn't eat for 12 years?
Christmas dinner and Thanksgiving dinner. That's right in the thick of wrestling, you know, the wrestling playoffs and the seasons right there.
And as a kid, like, how did you have that discipline? Like, how did that discipline get instilled in you to, like, because obviously that discipline then carried over to like what you believe in, what you're doing now, I feel, from what I can understand. Like, how did that discipline like get instilled in you? It's like,
I think ultimately it comes down to wanting to win, you know, wanting to be the best that I can be. And even in middle school wrestling, I wanted to be the best. I didn't play musical chairs in school because, like, I was nervous that I didn't have like the upper hand. Like, I wasn't confident enough that I was going to get that last chair by any means. So I just never played, you know, little stuff like that. So yeah, sitting at the dinner table, I have a wrestling tournament in 3 days. I have to be at this weight on the scale or else that's a loss instantly. So I was like, well, you know, the wrestling match starts. Well, I'm looking at that cup of eggnog and the stuffing. It's like, well, I can smell it. I can have a couple nibbles here and there, but at the end of the day, I got to lose 6 pounds by Friday, and this isn't going to help me. Cutting weight and then moving into fighting. I fought at 145. I walked around at like 164 pounds. So, you know, 19 pounds. I have to be on the scale at that weight or I lose.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't even understand it, even myself, because I've never really cut weight, but like I'm pretty into the fighting community and stuff like that. And I was just watching like actually before I say this, I have a friend who wrestled most of his life too, and he, since becoming good friends with him, Raul knows him, Nate. I've talked to him a lot about wrestling and like boxing, because like the differences, because I do boxing and he wrestled most of his life. So then he was just like, he just game me up on like a lot of the disciplines and stuff like that. But then what you're talking about right now, like you said, it starts at the dinner table. And like Patty the Batty on he has an interview, and he was talking about how like we get paid to weigh in, like we don't get paid to fight. Like I get to go out there and fight, but I have to weigh in. That's what I'm getting paid for. And like I just think that discipline and that whole regimen is crazy. Like to do it correctly and just like you said, be where you need to be when you need to be there. So
and then to actually answer your question, I guess the discipline comes from when it's 1 a.m. and everybody's sleeping and you're standing in front of the fridge. Nobody's going to tell you to not, drink that Gatorade when it's not time to drink that Gatorade, or eat that cookie. If nobody's there, it's like just you to have that battle, to not have it. Nobody's going to be with you in the sauna to make sure that you sweat out all that weight. It's all in your head, and it's all.
Yeah, what are you telling yourself in those moments?
Yeah, what's the mindset?
That I made it. I made it last time. Like, it sucks right now. There was only one weight cut, my very last one, where I was comfortable and like I made it through. I actually weighed in at 143 pounds, which is, and they give you 1 pound allowance if it's not for a title fight. So technically I was 3 pounds under. So like I had one weight cut that was just beautiful. Every other one I told, my dad was my coach a lot of my career. I came to him, not even enough water in my system to cry, or else a tear would be falling down my face. I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do this. He's like, that's what you said last time. Like, let's go. You did it last time. Come on. And I was like, damn, he's right. I guess if I can talk, then we can still work. So let's go work.
Do you find all those references kind of like playing out to life situations, like how your mindset and was shaped as growing up that way to how you look at situations now that you encounter in life?
And do you hear coach in your head like, you can do it with this camera?
A lot of the times,
or do you like fight with like a lot of self-doubt still, or like do you have like a strategy to fight your self-doubt?
No, that's a good question. There is a lot of self-doubt with me. I don't know if it came from fighting or if stemmed down before fighting, or I don't know. But even just like when you were saying your stuff stands out, I'm like, does it really? Like, I don't think so, but somebody else says that, then that's pretty cool. Like,
I think something that I always told Cody about, like us being like insecure about making content, is just like we overanalyze what we're trying to put out there, and we notice shit that someone on the other side of the screen is not even going to notice, like at all. And that's even more so on like making videos. You rewatch that shit like 10 times, like, oh shit, I fucking look weird. Like nobody's going to notice that. Like they're paying attention to your message. If you got something to say like that is like knowledgeable and educational, they're going to pay attention to that, and they're not going to pay attention to what fucking shirt you're wearing. And same with like art and like pictures and stuff like that. Like if you're like the focus obviously like that you got like is just like there, and like I don't know, it's just different. Like and every photographer has got their different style, and it's just like I think that's the issue that we have. We over like criticize ourselves sometimes. And I feel like we all have that fucking issue with different parts of life. But
I'll tell you what, it makes you work hard. It makes you not want to let yourself down. And
because then you're like, well, shit, if I can fucking critique it, then they can be better. And I feel like you should always strive for that.
I wanted to touch on something Cody said when he was saying that you taught yourself a lot of music stuff, and you watch a lot of videos from a lot of different people, and each person develops their own style. And I think I got the same type of thing with my photography too, where instead of like going to 2 years at a school being taught by one professor, this is how you do it, getting a little dabble and a little taste different from a bunch of people kind of just creates your own like diverse outlook on the same exact thing.
I've always like believed myself to like just like help like keep faith in myself is like, dude, people that you look up to, they're leaving fucking blueprints to their success. It's up to you to analyze those fucking things and like just see what they're doing and put everything together in the way you want to do it. And that's what I feel like always like makes me want to be better, because there's a whole bunch of different people that influence me and like inspire me. That is just like, that's me,
And we're so lucky these days with the internet, where if you're hungry enough for something, you can go figure out how to do it. You don't need to spend $100,000 on school anymore, or spend 4 years on school anymore.
How hard is it to like get someone to understand that though, or to even understand it yourself when you're not looking for that answer? You know, but you're looking for an answer, but that's not what you're thinking of because it requires work.
Yeah.
You know, and like you're still gonna be doing something that you enjoy, but you know, people look at the fucking the picture where they gotta put in all the work. You know, you want instant gratification, like you want everything there, and it's just like that's not how it works. You gotta enjoy what you're doing, and that's how I try to approach my fucking life. Like just enjoy every fucking day.
Yeah, man, it really shines through everything else you do in life too. Since I could work, I just did manual labor of like commercial irrigation and landscaping, you know, work all day, working, you know, your back hurts, sweating. It's not fun. I'm not around any of my peers my age or like same lifestyle that I like or enjoy. And then I come home and I have 4 hours of life. It's like, well, I'm pissed. Like my day is, I have this much of my day every single day now. And then, so I start thinking about tomorrow, like, damn, I only have 4 hours tomorrow. This sucks. And then it's that negative feedback loop. And then I got this girl, Allie, she's my fiance now. I'd come home and she'd be like, dude, this sucks. Like I only get that much time with you and you're pissed off all the time. I'm like, yeah, it does suck. You're right.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this a lot in my life specifically because I'm kind of in a similar situation where I spend most of my time doing like labor during the day and then have weekends and evenings off. And it's like, what do I do with that time? And like, ultimately, what do I want to actually do in life? Like questioning that. And like, it's kind of pretty much come to me like I want to be a content creator. Like I like to make music. I like to do these videos that we're doing here and stuff like that. And like, for the longest time, and even probably still sometimes today, that like I struggle with like what you said, like is it really possible? Like the like we're like taught, or like it's easy to obviously go get a job and do that kind of shit, and like really seeing it, like you say, you saw your fiance's Instagram kind of take off, and you can like it's like something that's close to you and seeable, like where I don't have like a ton of people that are like close to me who are like really blowing up on Instagram, or really their music's really just taking off, and it's like I'm killing YouTube, bro. We're making hella money. Like I do have a few friends though who have gotten like Spotify checks and stuff like that. So it's like it's starting to seem more possible or more real that like this or something that some of my content could take off. And like I've seen you do those like basketball videos and like the drunk questioning people and stuff. And like I was telling my friend Zach, like, dude, we should get the camera out and just go out and freaking interview people like downtown.
It's a lot of fun, man, too. Yeah.
How did you get into doing that kind of stuff? Like,
so, you know, I was working the event for the band that was on stage and performing that evening. Took a bunch of cool pictures, cool videos for them. And then I was there with a few of my friends as well. And there was just some interesting characters. And I had my buddy with me. And I was like, bro, you got to... I taught him how to use my camera, just a real rudimentary... Hold my camera. Here's $10,000. Don't drop it. I was like, just follow me wherever I go. And it was just because I watched like Brandon Buckingham, Channel 5 News, and like I just think that's so entertaining. Just real life dumb people. You know, that's my type of people. Just having fun. And then when you get that big light and camera on you, it's just like there's nothing holding you back. You're just gonna do wild stuff, say wild shit. And so I was like, let's see what happens. And then just went around asking people, you know, stupid questions and waiting for cool responses, and then threw it all together in a little 10-minute video. And it was like, yeah, this is real life, you know, like this is what people want to be. When people are loose, they get dumb questions, you know, people get some drinks in them, loose enough. Like, here it is. Here's a little sneak peek into, you know, the underbelly of freaking America, basically.
Yeah, I think those videos are awesome. I always catch like clips of that shit on Instagram, like dudes just asking these girls wild questions, and they're like, "Oh, I'm totally cheating on my boyfriend this weekend and shit," and they're just like, "Oh, doing that shit." If you haven't done that, you should take like 30-second segment clips and run some reels and shit on Instagram. That'd be tight.
That is a good idea
from those YouTubes.
Yeah,
that'd be tight.
That's a good idea. But yeah, it's fun. Just taking those little leaps of like, it's not gonna hurt me if I get 20 views on this. The same thing happens as if I don't even post it. Like, there's nothing bad that can happen. Might as well.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's practice. It's experience. You know, other people get to see your name and tell other people, dude, this is funny. Watch it.
Yeah. What allows you to like, or what do you tell yourself to like get over like the fear of taking that leap? Posting more, doing more, or, you know, criticizing yourself like, yo, I don't even know if this is good enough. Yeah, that self-doubt.
Yeah,
like,
so a lot of it actually, I'm super thankful for her, but again, it goes back to Allie, because her platform is magnified times a million. Like she's got sponsor deals already, a bunch of her main income is online right now, but she feels what I feel, probably even more so, because like being a girl in that space, they get judged a lot more. Girls can be a lot harsher than boys. And so a lot of it is me showing her that, like, yeah, it sucks, I'm scared, but like I'm trying to be a good example and lead by example for her, and hopefully some of this stuff can rub off. But yeah, there's nothing quite like getting knocked out in front of 3,000 people. And I had to go into that a lot of times. And I have been knocked out in front of 3,000 people on national TV, and you got to get back up. You got to shake his hand, and you got to go back to training camp and hopefully win the next fight. So the little things like talk on camera now seem like like there's
what kind of advice would you give somebody about fucking getting knocked out and getting back up and going, like, literally, like literally, and like a life fucking like advice, so, like literally about it, what you learned about that.
Like, what I learned about that is never underestimate anybody on how they look. You don't know their type of training. You don't know if his arms are 3 inches longer than you thought, because that's what happened to me. He just had a longer reach than what I was expecting and training for, and then he just wrapped his hand around where I thought he couldn't, and that was it. And then for real life, you know, you just got to do it, man, because if somebody says no to your face or slams the door in your face, realistically or online, you know, you ask for a spot and they say no, you know, maybe they even say, no, you're not good enough. Okay, I'm fine, right? Like, that's just me reading on the screen. Be undeniable. You know, if they say you're not good enough in this aspect, go get better at it. Come back, prove to them that, okay, yeah, you might have been right, but let's make it work. So instead of getting knocked down and staying down and being like, damn, yeah, he's right, I'm not good enough, come back, go back to training camp. You know, if you need to type faster for work, go learn how to type faster. There's a video for that. If you need to jump higher to touch backboard or something, go into the gym. There's a video on how to be able to touch literally any tiny thing like that in life, or for a specific work aspect. You can learn and get better, and then come back and be undeniable. I forget where I was going for that.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Everybody wants to be better, but nobody wants to put in that work to be better. Yeah, it's so fucking crazy.
I really like that analogy though, like going back to training camp, because like I feel like everybody says like just like once you get knocked down, like get up and keep going. It's like, no, get up and like reframe and retrain yourself. Because like put in some more reps. Like
don't lose. Like fucking. I take that as a lesson. You know,
like, nothing's wrong with losing, really, as long as you can address the situation and not let it happen again.
Yeah.
You know, what do they say?
You gotta take a learning point from every fucking loss. Like everything, like lesson. Like you gotta learn your lesson.
But
or it's gonna keep happening to you until you fucking learn it. Yep. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. But life is fun. It's honestly fun. You know, like you get to fucking have fun with what you're doing. Like, and everybody gets to have fun with what you're doing, like what I'm doing. Like that is like the goal that you should like have, you know, like find something that you can have fun with day in, day out.
Yeah.
So you don't get that fucking burnt out feeling, tired feeling, you know.
Right. And also I'd like to say that like social media especially, you see a lot of people's best days of their lives, or best parts of the 100%. Best day of their life, or maybe it's the worst day of their life, but they were wearing 6 shoes and you get to see the 6 shoes they were wearing, and you're like, dang, I wish I had those shoes. But meanwhile, his mom died that day. And it's like, don't think that just because somebody looks like they've got it good and, you know, like they've made it and they're happy, they're doing what they love, they might be going through terrible stuff at the time. They might hate their life. They might hate what they're doing, even though it looks fantastic. So that held me back a lot, was just like, dang, these guys, if only I could, you know, have a camera like them, then I could be happy. If only I could have that lens that they have to shoot this event, then I'm going to be happy. But like right now, I'm kind of at that spot where it's been it's been a few months now. I quit my job like you, just trying to pursue this and be happy doing what I want. But now it's kind of over the hump of like riding this wave of like, let's go. I'm hungry. Like I'm still hungry as ever, but now it's just kind of more reality of like it's going to be a lot harder than you think.
Yeah. I think it's really cool that you're willing to admit a couple of things like the self-doubt, the what you just pretty much said, like I'm sorry, I'm blanking. What did you just go
just like not think that everybody's made it because
like the grass isn't always greener, and
it.
like comparing yourself to others, and like just like ultimately having gratitude for your own situation too, like looking at everything that you do have, not just looking at what other people have. And then also just like the reality of doing this stuff is like, it's like I deal with all the same things. That's why I think it's cool that you're admitting it, because like I deal with self-doubt almost every single day. Like I deal with like the actual, like it's like, yeah, I want to make music, like say this as an example, and it's like really fun to do, but like you have to do it every single day, and you have to do it like multiple times a day if you want to be in a space of like creating income off of it in a way, like actually being able to then do it more. And so then it's like, it can actually be very difficult sometimes, like when you're just like maybe out of ideas, or like, what do I do next for this? Or like, do I just do the same thing over and over and over again? And it's kind of like, yeah, you do. Like in some ways, because the more that you repeat it, the more ideas that are going to come of it. Like you're going to eventually, in my situation, like one of the philosophies I've done is like, well, what if I just get bored with it? I'm like, well, then do something better. Like do something different and change it. And so then it's like, I don't know, I just think it's cool because it's relatable to me. Like it's like, fuck, like another person here who's like, oh, I have to do it still.
Yeah, and something that you can relate to as well is basketball. Since Hoop Fest, so I was practicing a lot leading up to Hoop Fest. And like I could see progress from where I started to where I was like, I want to be better for this specific thing. And then Hoop Fest came around. I played pretty good, better than I have.
You won a ship.
Yeah, we won. So that was pretty cool. But then I kept going after Hoop Fest every single day in the gym by myself, you know, working on my shot. I worked on a specific thing here and there. And then I was like, oh, I'm getting better, like
for sure.
And then literally 2 days ago, I was playing 5-on-5 full court, and other people were like, "Dude, like you changed your shot, like you can shoot. I have to guard you differently now." And I was like, "Yeah, I've been sick of not being guarded because I suck." But like it was so weird being like so giddy and happy of like I worked on it and now it's better.
Noticed it.
I've noticed that with my Instagram. Like for a minute, I was posting like 3 times a day.
Yeah,
I had this talk with my friend. I was like, bro, we gotta figure this out. Like I'm gonna start posting like mad consistent. And for like, I don't know, like almost 2 months, I was on it like almost 3 times a day, just showcasing my day. I was like, it's really just documenting instead of creating. So I was just showing when I went to the gym. I was showing when I was at work. If I freaking was listening to a cool song I was dancing to, I decided to document that. And then like over time, like people started hitting me up and like, bro, you're hella motivating me, man. Like I see you like trying to talk that truth and just like motivate people, because I also do just videos of me just talking and shit. Like, yo, like let's get up and get this shit today. And it was just kind of like almost that same feeling, because like for a period of time it was just kind of like happening. Like I was just doing it. I was getting likes. I was getting comments. And then like out of the blue, sometimes people would just message me like, yo, your content is sick. Like I'm fucking with this. And it was like that same, like I'm kind of giddy about this. This is dope.
It's just getting better.
People are noticing.
That's what allows me to keep going.
Yeah,
that's like the only thing I need. Not even like the hype, or I don't need shit. Like I just need one person to say, "Yo, this is dope." One person, that's it.
Like, oh wow,
and that's it.
They're noticing.
And I've like told him plenty of times. Like I've had people like back from my hometown, people that I know, like fucking call me and like say like, "Yo, thank you," because like the shit that you guys are saying is like real, and it's like advice, and it's like helping me, and I'm just like, you're welcome, because this is what we're trying to do.
Even with this, I was just thinking, like even with this, he was like, you guys still do the work, and like I was thinking about the repetitions of it. Like sometimes I feel like we're super repetitive.
Yeah, and even so, we gotta still put in the fucking work of what we fucking talk and try to give advice on, because like you said, it's easier to just talk about it and not do it, but we still gotta like go through the fucking hit these walls and like of like self-doubt and all that shit and fear and all this shit and life situations, and we still got to figure it out.
Yep.
And nobody's got to figure it out. So we're still like trying to go through it, and that's why we bring guests to fucking share their stories and like their similarities, because everybody can relate. You just got to keep going.
Yep.
You know? And it's fucking dope, because like I said, I just need one person to tell me that it's dope.
Yeah.
That's it. And I always just remind Cody, like, yo, dude, like, this shit that we're doing is barely even going outside of like the people that we know. Imagine when it breaks that. Like, it's inevitable what people you can inspire with shit that you reach. And that's the cool thing about the internet. You know, there's how many people are in the fucking world? 8 billion?
Yeah, lots of people.
You're not gonna reach 8 billion people, but if you did,
that'd be tight.
Insane.
Even if you reach
fucking
one.
Mars.
Yeah.
Go to Mars.
Have you experimented with running ads on like Facebook and stuff like that?
No, I haven't yet. I'm kind of at a point where I do need to start mixing up my approach on things instead of just like hoping people come to me, or like, because to me it's like, if I'm good enough, they're gonna want me to shoot them, right? But no, like, you can be the best in the world, but if you don't have solid marketing, if you're not solid,
people gotta know who you are.
People, if you don't shake enough hands, then you're
and
not
it's
gonna
really
go anywhere.
just going out. Sometimes a lot, I feel like it's doing some free work. Like for us, like on our side, like just what I can relate to it is like giving out free fucking shirts and shit like that.
Yeah.
That's like the marketing that we've got for you. Like your space, like I feel free marketing would be going to like concerts, free photos, tagging those people and stuff like that. And then eventually I feel like that's what gets you noticed. And that's the type of marketing that like we kind of have to do, because we don't have like a business card, you know, kind of thing. And it's like, yeah, you can go look at our profile and fall in love with our stuff. But like, if we do something for you, it's just something that does for people that is just like, well, shit, he gave this shit to me for free.
Yeah.
Maybe he's actually good. Let's go look at his shit. All right, his shit is good. Let's call him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and then they tell their friends, you know.
Yeah, and it's just word of mouth, you know.
How did you get your first gig, your first paid gig?
Same thing, a lot of free work.
Yep.
You know, I'd call a couple other people at the gym, kind of doing the same thing that Ali was doing. And I was like, hey, I have a lot of practice doing this.
Just filming them working out and stuff.
Yeah. Filming them, editing the little clips, give them something that they can post, get Instagram content. And then fighting, I did a bunch of free fights. I just was like, yo, because same people I'm shooting for, I've fought for, and I've sold out venues with them. So like I've made great connections. So I got to be up on the cage, you know, just like as good as it can get, best seat in the house, really. So that was really cool. So I've done multiple free fights, and then more recently at the IFC with Killian Estes, I'm getting paid to be their house photographer, you know, doing what I love. Now I can get paid from doing the same thing. But yeah, a lot of free work, a lot of like going downtown, take pictures of basketball players, because they're just down there to hoop, because like that's their love and their passion. And then they're like, oh, whoa, you got some pictures of me, dude, like that, and they're good. That's so sick. Yeah, and seeing them throw it on their Instagram was really cool. And then actually one of the players there was in high school, and then his strength and conditioning coach saw it, Fast Academy. He recently hired me to come shoot some like combine stuff he was running with some of his clients.
That's what's up.
Yeah, just that kind of stuff, and a bunch of Facebook posts of like, hey, we need a photographer. And then one of my other buddies tags me, like, jump on that. Yo, I'm your guy. Let me know. But yeah, I'm at that place right now where it's like, I need to do more for myself. I need to put down the walls of like, you're not good enough, they're not going to hire you, because like all that goes through my head, where it's like I want to ask if they need a photographer, but then I like already tell myself I'm not good enough, or they'll find somebody else, or this person's probably better than me, I'd rather ask them. And then so a lot of that, it's just not even getting to that point to ask. But then I can go ahead and say this to Ali, where it's like, if you ask, they say no, that's the same as not even asking. Like, you're still going to be on the couch, but at least you had a shot.
Yeah. That's why I think
that's so tough.
I think that's super valuable to know about self-belief, is like to be even able to, like you said, go back to training camp and to be able to do those reps, and to be able to even take that first action in asking somebody, can I take a picture? Like, you have to believe in yourself. And it's like, even on the like most basic level of like, if this person's like rude to me and they're just like, fuck you, kind of, it's like, or act like I'm hella weird or something, like, I'm cool with that. And that's like self-belief in a way. And I believe. And so then it's like, I think that like what you said cripples a lot of people, that whole conversation in the head, like, oh, I'm not good enough. It does me sometimes, like why I wouldn't like write a verse or take the next step towards
it's
making
crazy
a piece of
because
content.
last episode, it's like same thing what I said. It's like is it like you think it's like a lack of confidence in like maybe like even speaking up to people, like confidence,
Probably
or
just
maybe
a-
just
I don't know.
or like fear of rejection?
A lot, just like self-sabotage of like not even wanting to see myself succeed somewhere in the back of my mind. Like I need to pay somebody a lot to figure that out.
Yeah.
But it's not really a lack of confidence per se. It's just a stopping myself from wanting for like to succeed.
Yeah.
Like just resisting. Like it feels like there's something holding me back from wanting to make myself better.
I mean, personally, in my experience from like the last episode that I said, I was just like, sometimes with like when I fucking like, I was in, like insecure for so long. Like I didn't want to like speak up to anybody, didn't want to say shit. Like, and I just feel like we let so many opportunities pass in front of our eyes that we don't even recognize because we don't speak up. Like we're not ourselves, you know?
Yeah.
And sometimes like I said, like, I work at sales jobs. I'm a salesman.
Yeah.
So what I've learned the most is how to speak to people and be confident in what I'm selling and what I'm doing. And so like the biggest thing like I've learned is like, dude, sometimes you don't even know who you're talking to. Like you don't know who you're speaking to, and like you just present yourself well. And like it's crazy the people that you fucking meet, you know. And I've met some crazy people that are just like in the cannabis industry that just like, and I spoke myself well, and I'm just like, yo, this is who you are. I didn't know that's who you were. And it's just crazy because they'll like reference it to my boss, you know, because he's well known in the industry, and I'm just like, dope, you know. But I still gotta like stay humble because I'm like I can still be better. But it's just like presenting yourself well and like having the confidence of being rejected and just like being told to fuck off. Like, okay, cool, whatever, it doesn't affect me. Like, whatever. Like I've learned like that's been big in my life lately. Is just fucking having the confidence to just speak myself, and they agree with me, and if they don't, well, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm not afraid to be rejected, honestly. And I was for so long.
Where do you think you know where the resistance comes from in any way? And you obviously just said that you had the thoughts of like, oh, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe they already have a photographer. Like, there's so many of those like I think phrases that come to mind because I know I deal with that kind of shit. It's like someone.
Do you think it just plainly comes from like that, you know, so over criticizing your art?
It might, but also I think I felt that way for fighting a lot too. Where another reason why I quit fighting was because I would go into the fight not wanting to lose instead of hungry to win.
Yeah.
And once I was able to realize that, it was like, dang, that's probably not the way I should be handling this. Like fighting is not really something you want to mess around with. So even back then, I was just more afraid of not losing, or more afraid to lose in front of everybody than to have the confidence to go out and win. So I think it stems from just competing forever and losing early and wanting to make my coaches happy, wanting to make my dad happy, instead of like doing it for myself and being the best that I can be. It was always me seeing myself from the outside perspective of like, oh damn, he's a loser, he just lost. And so that's all I think about, instead of like, yeah, but I'm still a badass, like I can still mess you up, dude. So yeah, it's just always been. And then when I can sit down and think about it, I'm like, actually I'm pretty okay. Like I know what I'm doing, it's pretty good. Like this is actually a dope shot. And then like it's like the bad guy on my shoulders, like, yeah, but that shot right there was tight. The other guy, that angle is pretty cool. So it's just a lot of back and forth. It takes a lot of conscious effort to be like, if you're doing your best, that's okay.
Yeah.
Like if I max out my potential, that's all I can really ask for. But yeah, it's just my subconscious thoughts are always going to be negative and like wanting to do better. But then like I have to sit down and work to think about, yeah, but you're doing pretty good. Same thing with fighting, same thing with the photography now, where if I actually think about it, like I've came a long way. You know, I know how to use my camera. I know I can understand light somewhat to make a picture decent. So I'm like, dang, that's pretty cool. Like, yeah, it's just conscious effort to believe in yourself. Yeah, which it's like a skill I still have to work on all the time.
Yeah, and I think also too then attack, like, because like you said, like I think there's a large difference that might go over people's heads of like trying not to lose versus trying to win. I think there's like a completely different attitude that comes along with that, and like taking the aggression, the the potential fear of getting hit yourself. Essentially, like you got to be willing to step in, and you got to really willing to attack that person. You have to be willing to attack that goal, and you're going to get hit. You're going to lose money. You're going to lose opportunities. You're going to lose friends and stuff like that. But you still just got to like keep swinging, and you got to know that like you're going for a certain goal here. You're not going to survive. You are going to thrive in it. Essentially, try to do more than is needed to just like make it out okay or break even kind of thing.
Yeah.
I just think that is like that's something that plays out in my life sometimes too. Just like am I trying to win? Or am I just trying to like make it to the end of the day?
Yeah.
Like, am I just trying to like get into bed tonight, or am I really trying to like make some progress on something and attack the day and use it for what it's worth? So I think that's a great analogy for that kind of stuff.
Something, because it's been a couple weeks now where I'm like, I'm not doing enough. I should be in my mind. I feel like I should be at a better position in my life than where I want to be. Obviously, I want to be at the top, and I'm like, damn, I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
And then so after the long days at work, I'll be driving in my car just grumpy because I'm doing work all day, and I'm like, well, what'd you do yesterday to make yourself better? And then I'm like, damn, I'm right. Like, I didn't do shit I just pouted all day yesterday and the day before, and then pouted the day before that. And I'm like, well, let's not do that today. And so it's just like those self check-ins where it's like, what have you done to get out of this situation, dude? If you don't do anything, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah. Take an inventory of your time.
The last few days, maybe it's been a week, but I've been driving home from work, not working what I want to do. I'm like, okay, let me do something to get there. Like organize my computer, organize these files, organize my memory cards, just like little stuff like that where it's like, okay, I did something today to get better at what I want to do. Like, I think that stuff's going to snowball and get bigger and bigger, and you just got to keep going.
Yeah, I think
even if it is those little tiny things.
I'm literally in the same position. Like, on the last episode, we talked about I quit my job, but the grow offered me a head growing position, so I ended up taking it back. It's a little more money, a little more experience, and responsibilities and stuff. So I took that, and so I've been like, but going back to it, I'm like, I know this isn't what I want to do forever. Like, this is a cool gig right now. And like, I guess before that, for a period of time, I was questioning like, maybe I could ride this out for some time. But now I recognize like, I just feel it so much heavier this time. Like, it's a great gig, and I think it's cool. But like, I just know that I'm destined for something that's like more that I've created into my own life and shit. Yeah. And I just think the same thing like when I'm driving home, like, or like even like 2 hours into work, sometimes I'm like, I didn't do as much as I could have yesterday when I got home. Like, I need to get home. I need to get the fuck on this shit. Like, even if you said, if it's organizing my computer, if it's trying to figure out how to copyright a song, if it's taking one more video on Instagram myself, it's like, that's where I get. I'm like, you could have done an Instagram video. It's like 30 seconds of work, and you didn't even do that. You just went for a run, and then you were like, well, I'm fit and I have a job. So like, which I think is important to have some gratitude for that kind of stuff. But it's like, if you want out of that situation, it's not what you want to do, then you do have to be taking those small steps. And I personally believe, like you said, like even just half an hour a day, I think the half an hour a day every day is like definitely going to be a snowballing effect versus like 2 hours every 3 days kind of thing. Yeah. Like the everyday consistent.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, Allie and I live in a duplex now, and just like cleaning, excuse me, if you just pick up the kitchen every day after dinner, it takes 10 minutes, or just not clean it, like do it this weekend.
Takes 10 minutes or 5 days.
And it's on your mind too. Yeah. It's all dirty and shit. Yeah. And you're just like, fuck. But when you're doing it every day, it's like,
you got to be grateful for the little things. That's what you got to remember too. But that's the shit like we talk about. That shit's easier said than done. You know? In the moment, like,
yeah, like you said, like I want to be on top now.
Yeah.
Like, and like, I think that's another thing that can like cripple you in not taking action, because you're like, I just don't have everything I need. I'm just not where I want to be. Like, I could have a nicer equipment, or I'm just not winning. Like, oh, this next video is not going to be as cool as it could be because I don't have as cool of whatever I need. It's like, yeah, but then you're not going to make that video.
Would you rather not make anything, or would you rather stay there, or would you rather?
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, it's like you're not going to make that video that's going to eventually allow you.
Yeah, but then we have those options, but we cripple ourselves to thinking that we don't have an option, so we don't try because
it's an easy way out.
Yeah,
and fucking sucks.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it too. It's an easy way out of actually not doing the work. So it's like you even though you're not on top right now, you have to know you are where you are. And if you want to get on top, you have to do the work and you have to do the repetitions of it. And it's like it's an easy way out of not trying.
You don't see online. It's the nitty gritty.
Yeah, I like to like take pride in shit like that. Like working 2 jobs. When I worked 2 jobs for the longest time, like I like to take pride in like doing that shit and not calling out on anything, like, and just doing it I did that shit for like 97 days straight or some bullshit. Like I was just like, what the fuck, am I on coke? You know, like, but I obviously wasn't, like, but it was just so fun because it's like that feeling for me. It's like that internal feeling that I know I'm not fucking doing this forever. I hate what I'm doing, but look at those people. They're actually doing it for a living, and I'm doing it to level myself up. And like, I know where I want to go, but I'm not gonna quit here and fucking deliver pizza and do other shit, and because it's fun in the moment, you know. And I try to enjoy everything that I do because there's so long in my life that I didn't enjoy shit, and it was just shitty, and I hated that part. But I had to grow up at a fucking really young age, I feel, and I'm grateful that I did. And everything that's ever happened in my life, I'm grateful that I've been through all that shit.
Yeah, you wouldn't be here now if it didn't go exactly the way it did.
And I feel like we all have to see that shit, that like everything that we go through, like, it's building us for like that story. Like I always imagine, like I always told my friends, like, yo, what if there was somebody following us around, like a camera crew, and like this is a fucking TV show movie, like 30 years down the road, except this part, you know? And like every time, and I'm just like, dude, just like, if I have like a dream of like writing a book of my life one day. Like, is it gonna be dope? Maybe. Is it gonna happen? Who knows? Yeah, you know. But that's like what I want to do, and it's like, that's just like, is it a fantasy? Maybe, but it sounds dope if you want to do it. You gotta
start getting them pages written.
Oh fuck, I got shit written. Don't worry about that. I got shit written. But no, it's just shit that like, and if it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. But at least I like tried, you know. And then, am I gonna like be upset that I didn't write a book? No, but I'm like keeping shit there just in case I want to.
There you go. Yeah, that's better than, you know, getting to that stage where you're like, if only I took notes. If only I took it more seriously.
And like me, like I am not like, I like to take pictures and shit, but like when I'm like doing shit and having fun in the moment, I don't like to like be like, you know, recording and shit. But I know that shit like that is hella important too.
That shit's so frustrating.
That shit plays such a big role in just remembering shit.
These days, it's like, you watch sports and then you see everybody with their phone. They're not even watching the buzzer beater, but they got it for the Snapchat.
Yeah, but
like I've been going on runs in the evenings and it's like super beautiful sunset, but I've been doing it specifically to like put my phone away
every time.
I'm like, I'm gonna put my phone away and I'm gonna go on a walk. I'm gonna get out, and then I get out there and I'm like, this would be such great content,
dude. Every time when I see a sunset or a sunrise here, I'm like, no, like, dude, we live in Eastern Washington. Like, we get the best sunsets, sunrises. Like, just enjoy it.
But it's also frustrating.
Everybody sees it.
But what, you know, everybody sees it. But what's frustrating about it is that, like, if you want to make content for a living at one point,
I know
this would be great content. It would be great to be that consistent and actually doing something that you like to do. Like on my evening run,
but that's the hard part,
reels are getting hundreds of thousands of views. It's like, fuck.
But I just try to enjoy it, and then I'm like, fuck,
same.
I should have taken a picture.
I know. Like last night, I was just standing there looking at it, and I just kept thinking, like, if you had your phone, I was like, dude, just enjoy it. It's nice. Like, you made it up here. You're alive. Like, got your 2 feet. Let's go.
No. But that's a good way. I think that was a good episode.
I agree.
Good way to fucking know you, and appreciate you coming and everything.
Thanks for coming on.
Like I said, everything that we like share, probably gonna go over people's head. That's why we try to hit points, because it's just like, you gotta learn shit as you fucking go through it, you know?
Yeah.
And if you don't, well, that's why probably you keep going through shit.
Yes, sir.
But learn through whatever you got going on, and that's why we like bringing people like you that are interested in, like, you know, facing challenges and doing what you're trying to do.
Go after what you want to do despite the difficulties of it.
And sharing, you know, having the vulnerability of fucking sharing what you're going through, you know, and like the challenges, you know, because it's not just fucking all flowers and sunshine. You know, there's shits and giggles in there too. You know, but it's all fun, and you know, just appreciate you coming, and it's fucking dope, and we just want to inspire people. Yeah, we just want to help. Yeah. We want to make a difference, and we want to show people that you can do what you want to do. You just got to go through your shit and figure your shit out too. And it ain't easy.
Hopefully somebody can watch this episode and hear our experiences and take some practical advice out of it and inform it to whatever their dream is. Like, you know, go do their homework like you did with your camera, and have some discipline, like not eating on Thanksgiving and stuff like that. And like whatever that relates to in your life, like,
and apply to yourself, learn, be willing to learn, and try shit. Don't be afraid to fail, and just fucking keep going. You know, just don't ever fucking quit. Like,
have some self-belief, baby. Have some self-belief, baby. We got this.
Self-belief,
you got this.
Stay high, stay motivated, stay happy, and until next time, keep sharing.
Sundays, I had to put one foot in front of the other. Sundays, it was too much, I had to go take cover. I made it through the rain, lightning, and thunder. I made it through the rain, lightning, and thunder. I made it through, I'm feeling new, I'm feeling free now. Shooters gon' shoot, and if I miss, I get the rebound. The storm is so thick, it blinded my vision, but I can see now. The storm is so thick, it blinded my vision, but I can see now. I've been through a lot, and it took some time to really heal. I was feeling numb for some time, I'm glad that I